You're welcome back from that break. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. And in the studio with me is a very important guest. And I'm talking about Alhaji Dr. Abbas Garba Idris, the former DG, Fema, FCT Emergency Management Agency. You heard me say former, and I'm talking about he just stepped down. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And it's good to have you.
It's my pleasure.
So, sir, you just stepped down, and we'll say congratulations.
Thank you so much.
But we also like to know your success story as the DG or the former DG of Fema.
Well, it is a very difficult question for me to say my success story at this stage, especially now that I'm just stepping out. Some people must have written something about me, and I prefer to allow them to say what I must have achieved, and then, but I can highlight the challenges I face in the course of the journey. I've been the pioneer director general in the agency. At the time I was appointed, there was no office, there was nothing, no structure, nothing for me. So I had to start all over and do the structure and do everything, get the office, and then also prepare the action plan, because it is a new thing in the entire system. Disaster management was never part of the administration. In fact, it was not part of the nomenclature. Even the staff that were posted, I have to train them to get to the level that they will understand what I really mean. You'll be surprised that when you ask them to write something on disaster management, they won't be able to know, because they don't know the terminologies and so on and so forth. So these are the challenges that I face first in laying the foundation. And so I have to really find a means of getting to cutting some hours of our daily activities, giving them training in-house, group by group. We started with the terminologies, we started with the action, and then not leaving the actual aspect, that is the rescue and management aspect of the disasters within the city. So another team set aside to be trained on that. And so gradually we were picking up. And so we had the train the trainer program. If we train you, you have to go and train another 5 people, then another person to train 5 people, like that. That was how we got all over the staff. And then the administration kept posting staff from somebody with a history background, somebody with biology, somebody you have to accommodate, and then train them also to get to the level. So that was the major challenges. And then funding was also a problem. Even at the inception, if I tell you that it was the only agency that could not get take-off grant, you'll be surprised. I had to arrange to the normal overhead to be buying chairs and furniture one by one. So at least the 10 years is not a rosy period for me. Just that I'm convinced that the agency had got to a level of maturity, so it can stand on its own.
For us, it's a success story.
Thank you.
There's achievements there.
Alhamdulillah.
So we know there are certain places in the FCT that experience flooding here and there. How have you been able to handle these places?
Yeah, well, these are the commonest hazards in the FCT, and especially because of it is season. There are more hazards that exist in the FCT. And we were able, through the efforts that we made, to identify those hazards location by location, and also brought out the remedy or mitigation factors that will reduce that hazard. In each area council, you find out that apart from flooding, there are other hazards that are associated with. Most times, because people don't take them serious, like the flood. Flood is being celebrated in the sense that when it comes, everybody will get to know it. But we have windstorms that also damage houses and, in fact, sometimes kill the residents there. And we also have another thing, which is the communal clashes that we used to have between different tribes. Quietly, you find out that so many lives will be lost. So these are common things that, things that are very major, but we forget to take them. The flood in the FCT, like I always say, is a human induced, or what you people call man-made. Because the Abuja that we're talking about is well planned, and it is expected that every house or every structure must be on an identified and approved land. But because of our greed, you find out that some people will go and build on a waterway or floodplain. So by the time you build on the floodplain, you are just inviting problem for yourself and your neighborhood. And the same thing, those who are building on the blocking the waterways. By the time the water comes, definitely it must get its own destination, no matter how much pillar you raise to protect, to prevent it. So in that process, you now have flooding and getting into the other houses. So this attitude of the residents and then those who are also dumping refuse to block the waterways is causing a lot of havoc in the FCT. The structural, there are for instance, the two aspects, there are structural and non-structural. The non-structural are those ones I mentioned. And then the structural aspect it has to do with the administration itself, that they will sometimes they will put a culvert like box culvert. They put box culvert, and then the storm water will come and overpower the box culvert. The box culvert will not be able to take the storm water, so the water will have to be overflowing on the box culvert. So this one is easier when we call the administration, the attention of the administration, that is the FCDA, especially Engineering Services Department. They quickly go and remove and change the box culvert to river bridge. So in that aspect, you find out that the water will now smoothly flow. Yes, so these are the structural. All the structural aspects have been attended promptly by the administration, especially when we highlight it. They will come and definitely do it. But the main thing is the activities of the residents.
So can you name the places where we find these problems in the FCT?
Well, the flood-prone areas, the entire AMAC is flood-prone. Because, and if you take the AMAC, if you take the city center where construction is going on, definitely it can be. And then part of Buari, Kubwa in particular, is flood prone. Is prone to flooding. You go to Gwagwalada, also the Abattoir side is also prone to flooding. When you get to Kwali, there are erosion where areas of that had erosions. That area too is prone to flooding. And you get to Kuje, the same thing. So all the area councils are having areas that are prone to flooding. But like I said, the one in the city center is just because of the attitude. Well, the solution is attitudinal change. We have to change our attitude. We have to love our environment. We have to believe that the climate change is real. And so let's plant trees around our houses. Let's plant trees on by the roadside of the of all our roads. So we need to change our entire attitude of how we waste our beans. Waste. How we must make sure that when we take a bottle of water and finish, we shouldn't throw it away. We should be able to take it to where we're supposed to. So if we can do that, we can have a very clean environment and very successful.
Okay. So finally, sir, your word of advice to the person that will precede you.
Wow. The advice, everybody comes with his style of leadership. But the beauty of it is that disaster management is an international issue. It's something that has to do with the nature and then also non-natural. And it's been guided even by the United Nations. So the whole thing is that in every situation there are templates. I will advise that he or she that is taking over should follow the templates side by side and also relate very well with the stakeholders. These are the issues. If you relate very well with the stakeholders, you can never do it alone. There is no way, no matter how well equipped and well funded you are, you need others to help you. For instance, if there's outbreak of cholera, we call it a health emergency. If there is health emergency, will you do it alone? You can't. You are not a doctor. You have to get the doctor. So if there is no partnership with the hospitals, with the doctors, you have a problem. If there is any disaster that involves casualty, you need the morgues to deposit dead bodies. And so you need to relate with the hospitals. So all in all, the whole thing is you have to come together and work as a stakeholder. That is the secret of dealing with the emergency and disaster management in the country.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, I've been speaking with the former DG of Fema. I'm talking about Alhaji Dr. Abbas Garba Idris. We're going to short break and the program continues.